It's game on with Desire, Jonathan, and Clive. We are big on sports. Big on sports.
Cook with Chigga.
On the beat.
Work your body. Yeah. I can be the concorder. Let me rock your body like a Don Corleone. Never tell me this up. My single have a cut to know it up. And the joke is as it calling up. Send the bamboo high down the set you got it, yeah. But not to hold it on. Every second, every minute, tell me you have to get it on.
I forget it on, me girl, you have to bring it on. Me have to send it on when the girl is on it on. I forget it on, me girl, you have to bring it on. Me have to send it on when the girl is on it on.
That's Mits, Caesar, Zebra Cross. What else? That's Mits, Caesar, Zebra Cross. Last night nafunye omusama mugamba tugende kusapa koye lwaki tetugirya emisana okay kale di. Last night nafunye omusama mugamba tugende kusapa koye. Last night nafunye omusama mugamba tugende kusapa koye lwaki tetugirya emisana okay kale di. What else? Last bits Caesar Zebra Cross. Last night nafunye omusama mugamba tugende kusapa koye lwaki tetugirya emisana okay kale dia South African tea baletama.
Yes, we are back. It's not the last part of the show, but surely the last part of this interview. If you're just joining us, it is the last show of the year. Game on X. Clive Chaze is my name, the Kong Muchiga in studio, and we have the three candidates who are running for the post of president next year when the Uganda Volleyball Federation go to polls. Now, before we went out for that break, I had posed a question to one of the candidates, Mr. Joseph Odong, who is also the current treasurer of the federation, that signed a deal around April 14th, 2014, if I'm not mistaken, with an insurance company in the country, and that deal was supposed to cater for so many things. One of those was referees allowances, dress the referees, provide equipment that is needed to play the sport. But like I'd hinted, we've been at MOBS that has 4 courts. All 4 courts don't have antennas. There are no balls. Coaches are writing their lineups rotations on peak fair papers or papers from peak fair books. And I've just been informed that this year in Rukunjiri, when the National Post-Primary Games were going on, only 1 court had antennas. And when the man in charge of schools volleyball, Eddie Kakarunji, was asked, he did tell the teachers and sports masters that the federation has only 2 pairs of antennas and they could only carry 1. But I remember also, should have been early this year or late last year, the first vice president, Mr. Godwin Senyondo, posted somewhere on the official Facebook page of the federation, giving us good news how an Italian coach had donated close to 40 antennas to the Uganda Volleyball Federation. But we've had all these flaws, JJ, going on for the last 1 year or 2.
Oh, yeah. Let's start with the latest issues to do with antennas.
No, issues to do with equipment for the sport.
Issues to do with equipment. We have been having the league running, and I don't know when the last time you were in MOBS, but I just failed to understand. You've been around volleyball for some time. When you come to MOBS, you'll certainly find antennas, you'll find nets, you'll find...
No, but I'm just saying, we've had incidences.
If there are no balls, what are we playing in the MOBS, for heaven's sake? If there are no balls, our office is just a stone throw away.
JJ, we've had incidences.
I'll tell you for a fact that we have antenna. I'll tell you for a fact that we have volleyball nets. I'll tell you for a fact.
You have line-up sheets and line-up sheets?
I'll tell you for a fact that we have line-up sheets. What I want to say here that, you know, when you get people to do a job on your behalf, you get it, and they do not deliver as per requirement. Yes, as a leader, you are held accountable. Yes, but honestly, what does it take to have a line-up sheet? We have these line-up sheets. We do.
But?
I'll tell you, it now takes down to the person who is supposed to execute this duty. So maybe our human resource needs to be encouraged more, needs to be trained more, needs to be told more that, you know what, that we need these things to be there because they are available. All you have to do is to pick them from the office. As president, those are the things I will not tolerate. I'll tell you that. Those are the small things that betray the image of volleyball in this country. When officers who have been assigned duties do not deliver. I'll tell you, when we're doing the international tournaments here, under my stewardship, none of those things happen. Have the books ceased to exist? Have the
because we had international supervisors then
yes,
also.
we can still pick on from them. And we did that. After that engagement, we picked on from them. Talking about referees, Clive, I'll tell you as the treasurer that we upped the pay of our referees. We upped it. Not as much as we would want to.
When was that?
But it moved. That was 2015, end of 2015. We upped it by a small token. We do not have that much that you want to talk about. No, we have something that has to run us throughout the year. Now, as the guy in charge of managing the budget, I've proportioned this budget to all activities, including national team, throughout the year. You get it? I'll tell you for a fact that we are not indebted to anybody. I think volleyball is the only federation in this country that is not indebted to anybody. I'll tell you that for a fact, because we manage our budget well. Now, this comes with the training, you know. You know, the president is a chartered accountant, I do finances. So we know how to handle this very well. Now, going back to Eddie, you love this game, I know that. But some of us probably love it more than you, because you do not take leave when things are not moving well. You take the thing head on. Now, we who do finance know that income is recognized when it is received. You get it, eh? You recognize. So you talk about $100,000, 200, and you end up saying, we did not get it. So it actually didn't come through, so the deal didn't come through. It doesn't work out that way. It doesn't work that way. So you cannot go say that I'm the only guy who signed a deal, blah, 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 and then we got $100,000. We did not get it. You did not get it. Would love to have such people. I know where people have their strength. And I would love to tell you that my colleagues here have strength in some areas. And I would love to work with them as president and assign them those duties that where they have strength, better than me. And we shall run this game, grow this sport to a higher level. When referees go to Mbali to earn a living, I'm happy to tell you that
at the expense of the league.
They did not go to officiate football or hockey for that matter. They actually went to officiate volleyball.
At the expense of the league, JJ.
That is it. At the expense of the league, that's a fact. But they went, somebody has to go there, and somebody who's qualified to do that. And it is only in national Uganda Volleyball Federation where you have qualified referees to do that. Now, that means we don't have enough human resources to distribute between the two organs. Once there's a school championship going on, we are mandated to assign referees that role. That's one. Two, the other side pays a little more. That's a fact. They pay a little more. And even if it were me, I would love people who go
that's why I love this gentleman. I love comments. That's why I love this gentleman. Because, yes, he will give you an answer one or the other. I will tell you, I won't say the name, but I tried to engage somebody like I always engage you on issues pertaining volleyball. And I was told in Uganda, Ojja kuntamanga Sekajolo bwe yantama. I'll hate you just like I hate Sekajolo. But you're not that kind of person. You always want to give answers and be interactive. But Eddie, also the other thing. You talk about commercializing the sport, bringing partners on board, sponsors and all that. Early this year, you did... I remember you calling a press conference and a few other partners of yours that should have been around Chisemeti. And you were unveiling a deal with Nemo Stars Volleyball Club. It started as a trial deal that was eventually supposed to turn out to be something big. But the year is coming to an end, and we are yet to see the fruits of that deal that you did manage to bring on board for Nemo Stars Volleyball Club.
Yes. Quick one on that one. When I started to look for money for Nemo Stars 4 years ago, and I finally got two sponsors to come on board, it was not only for Nemo Stars. It was because volleyball for a long time in this country, clubs are not supported. And when clubs are not supported, the federation cannot find money. Clubs and institutions that plays the game of volleyball will bring people to volleyball. No sponsor will come and put money to a game that is watched by the people that plays, a handful of people that plays the game. If you've gone to MOOBs, you've seen the number of people who are there. That is the quality of what Okila does. When I say I'm going to do something, it is on the screen. And I want to tell you, we have to see the fruits of the quality. Let me tell you, when we're about to sign this deal, with a sponsor, and actually unveil it, which we're fighting with football and basketball, for that money, 116 million shillings. The day we're supposed to sign that game, the deal, Hassan called me and said, Eddie, you need to hold this deal a bit. I said, why? He said, there is a possibility that the National Volleyball League will not take off because there's a fight right now. Clive, I am a marketer, and I'm a leader. I am accountable when I give money. If I had signed 116 million to volleyball and the league is not there, this money was supposed to go and be divided within 4 top clubs in this country. What were we going to account for?
But you're saying that right now.
Yes, the league is not there. We're signing this money for the league. The national championship crumbled over chaos. How am I going to account for that? Is there any brand that wants to put its face there in a game that has a lot of confusion? That is a leadership problem that I have been talking about. I brought Mirinda into the game, And in 2008, 2009, at St. Lawrence, I was able to account for that sponsorship when I brought it from Pepsi then. Now today, it's not happening. They don't have it anymore. They can't account.
Well, I've been told we also do have phone calls coming through. So I hope the questions will be directed to any of the 3 candidates in studio, and they have promised me that they'll be able to answer all those questions. So whoever is asking anything, just feel free to ask whatever you want to ask about the game of volleyball towards the end of these 2 gentlemen and lady, and they will be able to tackle your issue. But also, as we wait for the phone calls to come in, time is not our best ally. But I'll start with Dija. Your probably closing remarks to the voters out there. But also, if you happen to win the election, what should people expect from you? But I've been told we do have a phone call. Yes, hello, caller.
Yeah, this is Johnson. Hello?
Well, looks like it's a general problem, like Cesar is saying. But I'll start with you as we try to wind up.
Hello?
What should your final remarks to the people watching, to the voters, but probably what people should expect from you if you're elected president?
To the voters, I rally for your support because I've been down this road as an athlete. I've served sports all my life. I'm still serving sports in different capacity. I urge you to give me a chance to serve the sport because I know I have a vision to see that volleyball grows to the highest level it can within the mandate I'll be given. I hope to sit with that, like I said, the theme-based leadership, whereby we know that this year for accountability and be able to monitor and evaluate, we see that we are going down to the schools. What are we going to do at the schools? Have the technical team that is already on ground and also develop more, going down to the grassroots and also being able to feed up to the clubs and that kind of thing. And then look out for technical support. Technical support in terms of the equipment, in terms of balls, in terms of supporting athletes by having exchanges with the networks that have built over the years, say in Japan, in the different countries in Africa, where I've been able to talk to them about my vision, and I know it can materialize if given an opportunity. Look to it to see that as a federation, because we are not together at the moment. How are we able to work together?
That's the most important bit.
How are we able to work together? And to me, it goes back to looking at what the vision, the mission, and the objectives of what we need to work in the next 4 years.
Yes, hello, caller. Your name, where you're calling from, your question, and who you're directing it to.
Hello, my name is Frank.
Yes, Frank.
I management for that volleyball club.
Yes.
I'm going to follow the countries around in the studio. I have a future in Okira.
Okay.
He comes around after the election, he disappears. 4 years in the game, without you appearing, knowing how it is a serious issue. Because you don't know the witnesses, every other case. And I have thought, I think I am as well. We don't have so much to say. I love the integrity of Mandela. Because of what she does, I think she will stand out even when the whole case is bad.
Okay.
But that issue is Okira, because I hope the time is failed, she will take the game, know every weakness, and I hope them is failed. Every day, every other time.
And JJ, you don't have any issue with JJ?
JJ has been in the system as an accountant, and he has been accountable for some issues. He has so many things inside, he doesn't come out 3 out. Maybe JJ I think he has had issues with himself as a man, or let him stand as a man.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Yes,
Clive, let me respond.
I want to react.
Yes, let me respond to Frank. Frank, I don't know how long Frank has been in volleyball, for that matter, but I am
very agree with Frank, Eddie.
Yes,
since the last elections, you're only surfacing again.
Let me say this very clearly today to everyone that loves volleyball in this country, and anyone that loves sports in this country, and anyone who loves leadership, true leadership, transformational leadership in this country, that where there is confusion, lack of integrity, destruction, you will not find Okila there. I have diligently served volleyball with all my heart and all my life in volleyball to this day. And I've given volleyball the best. I am sitting here and still have the sanity to actually have a civil conversation with the people who are in the executive. If I pull out one letter right now and release it to the media, you will never vote these people in. That's the truth. So Frank, please, for your information, Okila served volleyball for 8 years. The league you are enjoying today, the brain that started is actually seated with you right now, seated in the studio, and you're watching, and I'm glad you're asking the question. I stepped out of volleyball that time because volleyball lost so much. I lost $450,000. Okay? We lost money that came from the sponsors, right? And these sponsors are there, and people look at me. That time, government of Uganda, I want you to walk to the Ministry of Finance and see the letter that was written. And then that letter was delivered by Mr. JJ Odong, rather Joseph Odong, to me and to the ministry. After the executive had a meeting, how do you write and backdate a letter?
We do have another caller coming through.
Yes, I had to take a break from volleyball to rethink so that when I come back this time for volleyball, I actually have a clear...
Hello, caller. Your name and where you're calling from?
I don't think you want to go that direction.
Hello, caller. Well, we have a question coming through. It's going to JJ. I'll read it as it is. Ask JJ why we have an affiliation list by participation and not by payment as it is supposed to be.
Now, in Ugandan volleyball, participation is one way of being an affiliate. I'll tell you, the constitution says that before you go for the elective congress, you must have participated in events in the 2 years. That list is important. That's one. Two, the paid up list. You know the year has not yet come to an end. Now what happens if somebody pays on the 31st and I've eliminated him? What happens? Do I still go back and re-edit the list? Because I'll tell you that finances come to an end on the 31st of December. That's when everybody is said to have paid up.
Yes, sir, we do have a caller coming through. Your name, where you're calling from, and your question, please. Well, the other question also coming through to all the three candidates. I think all of you will have to tackle this.
I would love to respond to Okela's allegation of giving him a letter.
When it's late.
It is not, by the way, the letter is in the studio. So you don't need to. Let's chill that one. We're working for volleyball to go forward.
Say, let's chill it. Now, if it is your request that we chill it, that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, the other question,
for the love of the game of volleyball.
Gentlemen and lady, the other question will be, ask all the three candidates why they are comfortable being in a process of election whose electorate is unknown. Who is in charge of the electoral process in which they are taking part? I'll start with Eddie.
Perhaps this is the best answer you're going to get. 1, the Constitution of Uganda Volleyball Federation speaks very clearly about the election and who is supposed to handle the elections. The elections and the voting is done by the members of the federation whose financial positions are up to date with the federation. Okay? Number 2, once those conditions are determined, then the credentials committee are supposed to be appointed by the current executive in office, and they're supposed to be made known. Then during the Congress, we are supposed to vet those credentials committee and then actually approve them, and then they start their work when the Congress is going on. But unfortunately, for the last 20 years, that process has been flawed during election. And that is why JJ cannot basically answer the question, very simple question about the list. The list took so long until I had to write to the president to ask for the list myself. And I'm glad Sadiq responded yesterday with the list. And I asked him, I said, why are their names not there? The year has not ended. Please put there. So far, these are the ones with money paid and this. And then if somebody pays on 31st, it will be included on the day of the election. It does not suffice when the professional finance person tells me I could not put it there because of this. You definitely know that. You were there when I gave you the interview. What happened in the last election? Why I stepped down?
Can I give this guy a response?
No, JJ, why are you comfortable to stand in an election process whose electorate is unknown?
Come on. Guys, the electorate is known. Our affiliates are the people who go to vote. That's 1. 2, Eddie has been in this thing for the last so many years. And Dijan myself, we've been in it for the last so many years. We only keep updating this list. Now, he has a point to refer to. 4 years ago, he was doing an election. And we just keep updating as per Congress. Now, why are we not having a list of unpaid up people, paid up? The one the president gave you must certainly have come from me, to begin with. Secondly, you do not declare before the end of the financial year. Because somebody will come up and say, why have you not included me on the list, and yet we still have time to pay up?
Can you quote for me that point of the Constitution?
I want to tell you that the list will come out. It is ready. That come midnight tonight, I'll know who has paid, who has not paid, and you'll have it updated.
Okay.
You have a list.
Looks like time is up, but of course, just to run you through the list of all the other candidates. Like we said, the post of president, we shall have 3 candidates running for it: Ms. Hadija Namanda, Mr. Eddie Okila, and Mr. Joseph Odong. The first vice president, we have 2 candidates: Mr. Sempira Joseph Mary and Mr. Bagaga Isma. The second vice president, we have 1 person. She is unopposed, Ms. Patricia Ahumuza. For the post of General Secretary, we have 2 candidates, Mr. Cornelius Egwenyu and Mr. Hassan Sekajoro, who was served there before. For the post of Treasurer, we have 2 candidates, Mr. Kalanzi Apollo Mujabi, together with Mr. Mugisha Adams. And of course, Komakech Innocent is also vying for the post of District Association Representative North. He's unopposed. We have Mr. Andrew Okapis, who's running for club representative. He's also unopposed. We have Mr. Okore Patrick, thank you very much. He's running for the post of District Association Representative East. But of course, we couldn't have enough time. The 2 gentlemen and lady had a lot in store for us, but time is not our best ally. We'll have to let them go at the moment. And we are saying come January 8th, may the best candidate to win. And yes, Clive will also be back covering volleyball passionately.
Thank you.
Akukolola mavunya, kutereze byebi wona we wakyama.
Desire, John and Clive. We are big on sports. Big on sports.